Hey, there y'all go. I missed you. Hello, my Real Resilient crew, my family, my friends, first timers, all of that. Hello and welcome. Happy Veterans Day to all of those that have served, all those that gave the ultimate sacrifice, but just took the time to just say yes. So for those here in America that took the time to become a part of the armed forces, I thank you. We welcome you. Hello, Mom. How are you? We welcome you here to Real Resilient Conversations. It's Monday, where we do this thing just for you each and every second and fourth. Second and fourth. Now look on your calendars. It's not a full week. That one don't count now. Second and fourth. We do this to make sure that we appreciate your time, and we want to make sure that I am I take the time to honor your time. I know your time is valuable. It's something you can't get back, so it is the most expensive thing. So 30 minutes of your time is all that I ask of. And so we do this because I use unique, quirky topics and find ways on how to make you a more resilient person. So that comes from life, that is with relationships, that's with business, that's with finances, that's with health, that's with mental stability, that's with emotional stability, right? The bounce back factor is all that we want to really cover here in Real Resilient Conversations. So if it is your first time, welcome. Stay something that you enjoy. If it is, maybe not quite your teaching, that's okay. Just share. We ask that you would share it, like it, subscribe. For those of you who do enjoy, take the time out just to say, I like that. Just so we know that we're doing a good job, we can continue to give you great content. So with that being said, make sure you hit the notification bell too. You might forget that. For my bi-weekly returnees, hey, how y'all doing? I love you. It is because of you that we're able to do what we do here at Real Resilient Conversations. And so we want to take the time out to honor you. And as a veteran myself, I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for honoring us on this day. And this is usually a day where we are out getting food. And today was a little bit more challenging for me. And I told a couple people today, I said, I'm blessed, but I'm challenged. And anytime that we are talking about our topic today, then that's really going to jump into some of the things that I had to utilize, those tools that we talk about when we're talking about being resilient. So today's topic is great and full or grateful. And so because I want to know your thoughts. So tell me what you think great and full or grateful means when we're talking in respect to resiliency, right? And because everybody has different perspectives. And so I'm interested in what your perspective is and how it interests you, right? And so I used to take time out to really give speeches to my students. So when I used to be basically the overseer for all of the hands-on training for the medical group. And I used to do in processing with the students. I always told them it is a sin to be good when you're called to be great, right? So if you have been called to be great, why would you settle for mediocre? Why would you settle for pieces of instead of giving your all, instead of getting everything that you are deserving of? And so on my signature block, when I had it, when we were allowed to have it at least, I made sure people knew that because I wanted them to put their best foot forward in everything that had their name attached to it. And so I remember at one point I had uh, a young girl, and I told her that I was putting her out of the program, and she begged and pleaded, and she couldn't understand why. And I told her this may not be the best fit for you, right? This is not bringing forth your greatness. This is showing your lack thereof. And so I don't want to put you in a situation to where you are not being fully able to give your best. And so when I'm talking about being great and full, let's break that down, right? So greatness, of course, you usually can quantify that, right? You can when you say that it's great, it can be big, it can be we're talking about size, we're talking about numbers, we're talking about quality, duration. We're talking about the things that make us really say that is a great or grand. Usually is what I would associate it with, but great is something that we can label with character. That's something we can label with skill. You're great at tennis. You're great at cooking. You're great at making people feel welcome. You're great. Okay? You're great. Then you can associate it with even relationships. That's my great grandchild. That's my great niece. That's my great aunt. Right? Relationships. Let's see what's another one. When you're talking about the greatness of it, the importance, right, of a situation. Uh, so the Great uh, Depression. Right? We're talking about something that was a large deal or a big deal for the economy. When you're talking about importance, you're talking about we say character. What's another one? Position, right? You're in a official position where you are the greatest of the land, so to speak, in uh, that particular arena, right? Or when you're talking about something is great, you're usually talking about the favor. And because we're talking about favor, let me give you a short testimony. So today I had a rough day. I know I didn't even get a chance to tell my family, but I had a rough day today, right? I decided I was going to get a new vehicle. My vehicle was having some trouble. I went to go and clean out the vehicle, and with the hood raised, the garage seemed when I pulled forward, it hit the back windshield and shattered the windshield. Glass everywhere. I am devastated, right? Devastated because I was trying to figure out how how am I going to get this car to trade it in if now I no longer have a windshield? But I was talking about the favor of God, right? Um, it was so great. It was the greatest favors that I could think of, right? Meaning I made a phone call, said, hey, I'm not gonna be able to bring the car in because I shattered, the back windshield is gone. It's shattered. Um, and the lady said, no, ma'am, no, ma'am, bring your car in. She said, do you want this vehicle? And I said, yes. She said, bring your car in then. I did as I was told, right? As soon as I got there, they said, you're already pre-approved. You're approved. We just got a couple more things we need to do. And guess what? There was still a stumbling block. I was there for 5.5 hours because their system went down. Their system was not connecting anyone that had a trade-in. If you had a trade-in, their system was not allowing you to do so. When that happened, I said, this has got to be the greatest, the longest, most significant amount of time that I have spent waiting just for a system to get in alignment, right? But when it happened, I said the power of God is so strong and so good, right? So great, so grand, so magnificent, right? That they still said it's still yours and you get the car. No worries. No matter what it looks like here on paper, it's still yours. I thought to myself, there were so many challenges that happened today that could have discouraged me. And so when we're talking about things that are great, it's big. It's something that's bigger, right? There's a song by Pastor Mike Jr. and it says it's going to be big. And God's going to open the windows of heaven and pour me out a blessing. When you're talking about the things that are so big and you're thinking about the things that are big and great in your life, are they big? Are they bigger than just the mediocre? Right? When we think about the great singers, we'd be like, oh, that's a great singer. You talk about Anita Baker, you talk about Patti LaBelle, you're talking about um, the Whispers, you're talking about great, right, entertainers, the great comedians, great uh, household leaders. They're great at what they do. So let's talk about that real quick. But let's talk about being full first. Let's talk about that, and then we can jump back into the great thing. Usually being full means that it is containing or holding something that is to the brim, right? It's to the max. It's already everything is in there that can fit in there, right? It's full. It's not lacking. It's not without what is in need of, right? Hey sis, how you doing, Crystal? So when we're talking about being full and being great, being full is being to the max, to the capacity, right? Being great is being, right? It's depending on what you're doing. Are you great at it? Are you mediocre at it? And are you doing it to the fullness of the capacity that you should be doing it? Be great at everything that you put your hands to do. And when you realize that you are not great, practice at it until you become great, right? Find the people in your life that can guide you, that can direct you, that can give you the support that you need in order to become great. When you're not great and then you're mediocre and you find yourself trying to figure out why things are not working out the way that you feel like they should. Because are you operating in greatness? Are you operating in fullness? Or are you operating in mediocrity? Are you operating in half full? Right? These are questions I had to ask myself. If I'm telling myself it's a sin to be good when you're called to be great, then when I look at how organized my house is that good or is that great? Figure it out, right? When you're thinking about being, am I up to my fullest potential of who I am as a person, as a woman, as a contributing member of society? Am I at my fullness? These are the things that I questioned myself, and I looked upon myself and I said, "Well, you got some work to do, girl." I told you whenever I things, and I tell you, I think it's the same thing for me. I had to question myself, like, I thought you had it together by now, right? The thing with resiliency, it is a daily, right, decision. It is a daily challenge. It is something that we do daily in order to grow ourselves, right? If you don't have any challenges, every flower that is planted has the challenge of being in the dirt. It has bugs. It has the challenge of growing, all while dealing with darkness. Do what you need to do to become full, to get to your fullest potential. That flower had to push through so much in order to get to its fullest potential, in order to grow and shine as only it can, to provide the beauty, to provide the nutrients for the bees and the bugs, right? The thing that it decided was important, it had to push through to get there. All I'm asking you to do is to push to get to become, for you to become full, push for you to become great. Who you are means so much more than where you are at this moment. So and now that we've kind of given some definitions on full and great, let's jump right into, right, that was the first half. So now Let's jump into the second half real quick. I know that my time is limited. I'm already at 16 minutes, so y'all bear with me. All right, so um, if you say that you are great, what does that really mean to you? What does that mean to you? Think about it. And when people pass by and they say, "Hey, how are you?" and the first thing you say, "I'm great. I'm good. I'm blessed. I'm great." But are you? Is it just a cop out? Is it an easy cop out? Or is it just something that we do because that's what we've been trained to do? Because nobody really cares, is what most people say. Nobody cares to hear that I'm struggling. Nobody cares to hear that I have a headache. Nobody cares to hear, right? They were doing it just out of nicety. People don't tell the truth whenever they're asked the question. Hmm. When you are not really great, can you really be full? Question I want to know. Can you be full if you are not being great? The fact of you just going on being good, it affects everyone else around you. You having to be great in your field will circulate everything that you touch, everyone that you touch. You have to be great and you have to be full. So that means if someone is draining you of your fullness, someone is pulling from you out of who you are, and now you have to be mediocre, you have to dim your light because they can't handle it. It's time to move on. It's time to shake the dust from your feet and make a move. Not fulfilling your potential, right? Not fulfilling your potential can mean that you're not living up to your own ambitions. It's like you're facing barriers that are preventing you from becoming your full potential, who you really should be, who you really are. And some of those reasons are because we have low self-awareness. So then you think you better than you really are. So for me, I know I'm a great speaker, but I know that I can become better. There's a lot of ums and hesitations and times that I have to think a little harder because of my fibromyalgia, but that's okay. I know that I can become better. So what do? I watch other speakers and figure out what it is that they do. Now the barrier that I have is that I can only be in it so far, and I have no one to talk back to me. So speaking just to you through a camera makes it a little challenging, right? And I seen someone said, "Never dim your light," and that is truly where I stand. I don't want to feel like I have to dim who I am. And I don't want you to feel like you have to dim who you are in order to become what they want you to be. Not who you should be, but who they want you to be. And that goes to living out somebody else's values. They feel like you should be in this box, that you should behave this way, that you should dress this way, that you shouldn't wear makeup because that is not becoming of a lady, that you should only wear suits because that's not becoming of a gentleman if you don't. Is that your standard? And is that hindering you from becoming full for yourself? Having negative core beliefs is a big thing. When you have negative core beliefs, it's like you're driven by them, right? Somebody tells you you have to steal, kill, and destroy everything that comes in your path because you earn it. It should belong to you, so take it. Negative core beliefs. Comparing yourselves to others is another one. Whenever you go about and you're looking at how they are doing things, what they are doing, how they are doing it, the amount of money they're making, the amount of, I don't know, cars they drive, the type of house they have. Stop comparing yourself. It eats away at you from becoming the best version of yourself. Maybe you don't want to be a millionaire. Maybe you want to help people, and your fullness is watching someone else get what they need, right? Maybe you don't want to be a teacher anymore because you feel like you have other other gifts that you can give to the world. Stop operating in the minority. Become the majority of what you need, of who you are. Other people are like, goodness, I didn't even know that that existed in you. Sir, you are phenomenal. You are amazing. I appreciate you. I adore you for who you are. Stand up and be strong. And even in your weak moments, that is where you are strong. Find you someone where you can be vulnerable with, that you can be weak with, and still feel like you are full, right? My ladies, my wonderful queens, my strong, brilliant, amazing, smart ladies, remember. Remember where you had to fight in order to get to where you are. Now, we don't always have to fight. We don't always have to be strong. But when it's time to be strong, be strong. But if it is pulling away from you being full, find the right person you can be vulnerable with. Find the right person that you can open up and share your emotions, your dreams, your aspirations with, and don't feel like you're being emptied out. The toxic environments that we allow ourselves to be in pull from us. It drains us, right? You're taking health risks by being with this person, by being in this environment, by working in this place. Right? These are toxic environments. Anybody that is not encouraging you to become better, toxic. Get rid of them. The man that you with, sis, if he is not helping you to become better, he's toxic. Get rid of him. Sir, if she's not building you up to become a better man than you were yesterday, get rid of her. If she's draining you, get rid of her. If mentally, emotionally, she's taking from you, get rid of her. The lack of ownership of our issues really play a big factor also in our fullness. We don't take ownership because we are scared of success. So we would rather procrastinate. We would rather quit because it's easier to do it than to work hard. So now your bucket is getting less and less and less. Find someone to pour you out into other things. Now, I just got fussed at by my business partner not too long ago, probably about a half hour or so. And you said you are pouring into areas that are not equally pouring back into you. And I had to think about that, right? That means I'm being depleted. I am being depleted by people who claim that they appreciate me and that they love me, and yet I am depleted. Are you being depleted in areas that you shouldn't be in? Right? I have to take ownership of that. It's draining my energy and my time, all because I'm trying to, right? Live in somebody else's values or help somebody else or comparing myself to, well, if I don't help, then they're going to look at me this way because this person helps and this person does. How is it affecting you in your life? Right? So some of the potential ways that we can, help you to get to your full potential is really taking an honest look at your life. And sometimes it is not pretty to look at. But sometimes we got to know what's dirty, what's trash, what needs to go out, so that way we can make room for what we really need. Give yourself permission to change your goals. If your goals looked a certain way and now that is not fulfilling you, then change them. Change them. You have my permission. If you don't know how to do it, seek you out a coach, a therapist, a counselor, a psychotherapist, right? My business partner, Dr. Sully Speaks, and myself are both available for counseling, right? Hit me in the DM, inbox me, or email me at realresilientconversations@gmail.com. I promise I will get you directed to the place that you need to be, okay? How much time I have? All right, I got 4 minutes. All right, so real quick, let's jump into this grateful thing. So grateful is usually what? A word that's for what comes to mind? A person, a place, a thing, a memory, right? Something that you're grateful for. Uh, What about, is it just because you're being appreciative of the things that you're receiving, whether it be whatever the benefits may be, a gift of some sort, time, right? Food, what, I don't know, clothing. For me, when I immediately thought of grateful, I'm like, oh, I'm grateful for something tangible, is what I was thinking. Um, and then I had to stop and say, oh, well, maybe I'm grateful for the memories that I had to share with this person. Right. So now, what does grateful really mean when it comes to mine? So, yes, it is about being appreciative of whatever it is that you receive. It's about making sure that you are grateful or giving thanks, right? It's affording pleasure uh, or compliments for what you've received. Now, whenever I'm thinking about, well, thank you, Sully. And yes, it is time for pruning. It's time for pruning, especially because we're getting ready to go into the holiday season and it's going to take more energy than before. Our energy is already being depleted. We've gone through a transformation here in America with the change of our government. And so those are going to, it's going to take just a change of learning a new person or learning a new way of life. And it's going to really drain some of your energy. So just be mindful. So prune away the things that are hindering you from becoming the greater person that you need to be. All right, so some things that we're grateful for. Now I had to look these up on the internet because my list seemed a little short. It did. It did seem a little short. So of course the things that I immediately thought of: health, wealth, friendship, freedom, freedom, freedom. If y'all know where that's from, put it in the chat. Freedom, education, clean water. Hey, if you live in Flint, you know about that. Be grateful for the clean water, right? Uh, family. A lot of people don't have family to go to. And those that do, whether they get on your nerves or not, be grateful for your family. Technology. I know even in China, their technology is way beyond our technology here in America. However, be grateful for the technology that we already have. We could be without, or we could be less than. When I go to other countries and I'm like, y'all are still using dial up internet? What? It blows my mind. Uh, so be grateful for technology. A shower. Are you listening? Are you listening? There are people that are homeless that wish they could take a shower, and yet some of you take 2 and 3 showers a day, sometimes more, depending on how hot it is outside. Be grateful for your shower. Be grateful for running water. You don't know how much you appreciate running water until something happens with the plumbing outside, and now all of a sudden, guess what? You can't flush your toilet. You don't have the opportunity to take a shower, and you're like, something's got to give. Right? All right. Another thing to be grateful for is coffee. So those of my coffee drinkers out there that cannot live, that cannot make make moves with life until you drink your coffee. I know you're grateful for it. A comfortable bed. You know how many times I go out of town and I'm like, I cannot wait till I get home to be in my bed. I am ever so grateful for my bed. So me and my bed um have a special relationship, if that makes sense. Mr. Tito, oh, I'm sorry. He said I was frozen on Facebook for a moment. Those of you that are on Facebook, can you let me know if it's still frozen? I apologize. I did not know. All right. You had frozen, so I thought you were asking a question, Mr. Tito. My apologies. All right. Back to things we're appreciative of: pets, cat videos, uh, colorful sunsets. I thought that was amazing. Beautiful beaches as the sun goes down, or just watching the water and the waves, right? Grateful to be able to see those things and have the peace that comes upon me when I'm there for it. And I was a little amazed at this, but one of them was digital books. And that goes It goes back to those of you who may or may not remember. In college, you had to pay all this money for these big books that were thick and bulky, and your professor only used 3 chapters out of the whole book. But you spent all this money on these books. So now, unless you just have to buy the book, now there's digital books, and that's able to help with you going to school, or digital books like audiobooks. I love a good audiobook. I realized that me holding a book and sitting still is just not for me because I don't sit still. Y'all pray for me, okay? I don't sit still. So having a audiobook, I can still do what I need to do and listen. So digital books are a thing to be grateful for. We said family and friends, laughter. Laughing is like laughing and music is like my key to everything. If I'm having a rough day, if I can find something to laugh at, I'm good. It's gonna break up that rough patch that is trying to form around my heart, and it's just gonna help to release. So find out what things help you in those hard times, right? Employment. Oh, employment is something to be grateful for. Let me tell you something. With this new blessing that I just received today, called a car, that I was ever so grateful for, because if I didn't have the job, I wasn't employed, it would have been a little bit more challenging, I promise you. I promise you it would have been more challenging. But I had employment in order to back me up. So be grateful for the family that we have. Be grateful for the good hair days and the bad hair days, because there's someone else who wishes that they even had hair, right? Right? Think about all of the cancer patients that lose all of their hair. They're just grateful to have hair. When their hair starts to come back and it's little strands here, they're grateful to have hair, right? So be grateful for your good days and your bad days and the fact that you even have hair. Be grateful that you have a home, right? You have a roof over your head, 4 walls, and you're able to, right, have internet. You're able to do the things that you want to do on your phone, your tablets, your TVs, your computers, because you have a home, you have electricity, you have water, you have all of the things that someone else in another city, another country, another state is just wishing that they had, right? Be grateful. All right. So, and to really, I guess, sum it up, great is what? What is great? What is great? It just means being excellent or exceptional in everything that you do. Be great at it. Be exceptional at it. It signifies a high level of quality and achievement. Make sure that it's quality, not quantity. Don't just do it so you can say you're doing it, but is it quality every time that you do it? Every time your name is attached to it, right? And but grateful is a feeling. It is something, of feeling appreciated or thankful. It is something that makes something good in your life. The great refers to qualities and accomplishments, while the full or the grateful, so great versus grateful is what I'm discussing right now. Great is talking about being excellent. The grateful is a feeling of appreciation, and it also refers to external qualities or accomplishments as well. So that's why I said great and full or grateful. So external accomplishments is great. Internal feeling of appreciation is grateful. External, internal. Makes sense? Great is being external. Grateful is the things that are internal. That making sense? So some key points. Great describes what? A positive quality, accomplishment. Grateful represents a feeling of thankfulness, once again, right? Often towards people or situations. All right. Questions, concerns, anything in the chat real quick that I may have missed? No? Nobody? Nobody? Okay. So that's my time. I hope that I have given you something that you enjoyed for tonight's show. I pray that we have said something to jumpstart your resiliency walk and to continue on that walk if you have already started here with us at Resilient Conversations. And not just for you, but for your future generations and those that will follow behind. If it's not for you, then please share with someone else that you think may benefit from this type of teaching. Share, like, subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss out anytime that we're doing a show such as tonight. All right. So come on back. We'll be here on the 25th of November. We'll be here on the 25th of November, and we will talk about part 2. We're just going to go into part 2 to get us ready for the holiday season. So part 2 of the great and full or grateful. Questions, concerns, anything I can clarify for you all before we go? Okay. Well, guess what? I love y'all. I pray. Love, peace, joy, and happiness follows you all the days of your life. Until we meet again, love, joy, peace, and happiness, I pray unto you. See y'all soon.